Hey guys! Alright, so I have kind of had a theme lately where I have been skipping a week of check-ins. And I've been really beating myself up over it. I know that I aim for every week, but I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway and until things kind of mellow out a little bit and we stop being so busy over the summer, I'm going to shoot for every week like I said, but if I happen to miss a week, I promise I will do at least bare minimum once every 2 weeks. So that's my new commitment to you guys, because I know that that's kind of what I've been delivering lately and I've been feeling really bad about it. So I know I don't have like hundreds of thousands or millions of followers or even hundreds of followers, but I know that there are a few people who do watch my videos, and some of you have reached out to me and are pre-op or just post-op and are getting something out of these. And even if it's just one person, I can help just one person. That's kind of my goal in this whole thing, and why I take the time to even record videos is and I said this way back in the very beginning was I didn't have anything like, one, in my age range, two, kind of in my weight range, and three, like nitty gritty every week complications, good, bad, ugly, there's a scatter of all different people who talk about bariatric surgery, but it wasn't as detailed as I think I have been, and that was something that I wanted. So that was kind of the whole point of starting this. And so I want to make sure that I deliver and I keep up on it, and you guys see that it's possible, either with surgery or without. Not everyone needs it, or even should get it, but I think for a lot of people it's sort of this thing that's like, shame, ring the bell. I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones, but it's one of those things that's kind of frowned upon, or you're taking the easy way out, or I don't know, you're cheating. You're not, you still have to bust your ass, and I've said that from the beginning. This is not the easy way out. This is not a magical cure. You still have to bust your ass in the gym. As you can see, I'm all sweaty. I just did sprints in the gym. And you still have to eat right. And I'll get more into that, about my vacation and stuff, here later. So, stats. I am Sam. I am 32 years old. I am 5'3" 3/4. And I am super excited to say that this last week, or no, the week before last week, I was the same, 174. And then, don't know how, but this last week I was 170.8. So close to the 160s, so close. And I was so excited to see that number, and see that, almost 4-pound loss, because it had, like I said, been 3 weeks. And I knew I probably wasn't going to lose weight in Hawaii. I was extremely active, but I was also lifting a lot of weights, and I was eating things that, aren't technically on my plan. But like I've said from the beginning, my goal in all of this is to have a balanced lifestyle. So I told you guys last time that I was on vacation, and that at my son's birthday party, just grabbing my iPad so I can get my measurements. At my son's birthday party, I had a cupcake, I had some chips, I indulged, and that was, something that my doctor was like, do, you're not going to keep the weight off if you are unrealistic, because then that's just feeding into, this is me personally, feeding into exactly what I did pre-surgery, which was starve myself, lose a bunch of weight, and then go back to eating normal foods, quote unquote, and not restricting the way that I was before, and gaining all the weight back and then some. And that was my cycle, just over and over and over. It happened numerous times, and we're not talking 10 pounds. We're talking, anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds of loss and then gain, which is really, really hard on your body, your joints. It was not good for me. And I do think that I potentially could have had an easier birth had I not gained 80 pounds. My son was perfectly healthy, but did I have to go through what I went through, which ultimately resulted in an emergency C-section? Who knows? But that was kind of my adult life, is going up and down and up and down. So that was something that I really was striving for, was balance, and being able to eat the cupcake, being able to be on vacation. And pretty much what I did is each morning I got my normal Starbucks drink, and I brought my Gen Pro, which is an unflavored protein. I've linked it in other videos. If you guys want me to link it below, I can. Just let me know in the comments. But I put a scoop of that every morning just to make sure that's 30 grams of protein right off the top, because there were days where everyone else was eating so much later, because my son would wake up at like 5 a.m. every morning, and him and I would go for a walk, or quote unquote jog, and go watch the sunrise. And then I would go get my coffee, get him a little pastry or like a little breakfast sandwich, and then we would sit and hang out for a little bit, and then go back to the hotel room. And usually by then, my mother-in-law and my husband would be awake, but I would kind of give them a little bit of rest time so that not everyone had to be, sleep deprived. And it was kind of fun for us to have that, that time, because that's kind of become our thing. When I get home from work, we go for a run, or I run. He sits in the stroller, but he comes and says hi, and he goes, outside. And so, that kind of keeps me motivated in the fact that, like, I need to go for a run. I need to take him outside. Like, he wants to go outside. It's summer. It's nice. And he deserves that. So, that was kind of cool. What else did I eat? Oh, so my husband and I celebrated our 3-year wedding anniversary while we were in Hawaii. So our wedding anniversary is exactly 7 days before my son's birthday. So we kind of combined the 2 trips into one. So we went out to dinner. I was really good. I did not, actually that night I didn't even have dessert. No, I'm lying. I'm sorry. We shared a dessert, and I had like 2 bites of it or 3 bites of it. I did not have a drink with dinner, which I really wanted an alcoholic beverage, and we ended up like walking around and shopping before dinner instead of, we were going to sit at the bar at the restaurant and have a drink before, because I have my 30-minute rule, and that just didn't end up happening. And so I didn't have a drink before dinner. I think I sipped a couple, sips of water, but we had a chocolate like souffle, where it's like hard chocolate and you crack it and then like the fudge and stuff comes out. I'm not a huge chocolate person. That's why I didn't eat. Also I had just eaten my meal. And so, what did I have? We shared crab cakes in the beginning, and then I had an appetizer. No, I had sushi. But I picked off the rice. So I basically just ate the inside of the sushi. I think I had 1/2 of the rice on one roll, and then the rest I just picked the middle out. I probably could have asked them to make it without rice, but it was busy, and it's kind of a nicer place. So I was like, whatever, I'll just pick it off. It's not that hard. So yeah, I had, and I didn't even eat the whole roll. I think I had 4 pieces of it, maybe. I think it was like 4 pieces of it. Like I said, I picked out the rice, or picked off the rice from the outside. And then I had, the crab cakes were smaller. I think I posted a picture of them on my Instagram stories. So yeah, that was really good food. And then we went out for drinks afterwards. We walked around for a little bit, and then we went to this really cool little bar, and I had a drink. I wasn't actually really in the mood for a drink, so I was like, I already had a couple bites of dessert, had some sugar there, I don't really need a drink. And my husband got this really cool drink. It was in like a whole pineapple, and I was like, you know what, I want a drink. Like, I really haven't drank since surgery. I think it was like once or maybe twice. I'm gonna have a drink tonight. So I had a drink, and it hit me like super fast. I think I've talked about this before. It hits you like in your head, like, when you're head drunk. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you're not like body drunk. Like, I wasn't like, but I was like, woo, like in my head. And And so, you know, then I would slow down a little bit and I'd take a couple more sips. So I did not like gulp this down by any means. I took it very slow. But I know there was sugar in it. And the next morning I definitely paid for that. The next morning, my stomach was upset in the morning. So, I feel like it was more the drink rather than the dessert, because I had a couple bites like here and there. Like I said, I had a cupcake. I had a whole cupcake on my son's birthday. So sugar hasn't really made me dump. But maybe it was a combination of the two. I don't know. And the amount of sugar between the drink and the dessert, because if I have something, you know, like I said, it was a homemade cupcake. So, you know, a normal cupcake size. It wasn't like a Costco, you know, size cupcake or something. So maybe it was the amount of sugar. But other than that, like we had teppanyaki one night, which is relatively pretty healthy. You know, I had, shrimp and chicken that night and veggies. I shared my meal with my son and my husband, cause it was quite a bit of food. What else did we, there was one day, what did I have that day? Oh, I had fish and chips, which once again, my mother-in-law and I and my son all shared the same dish, which was kind of cool. You know, we did that on several occasions where, you know, I just shared with my son and my mother-in-law, because she doesn't eat a whole ton either. So that was kind of nice. Yeah, so, I mean, we ate pretty darn healthy. We did get shaved ice one day, and I had a few bites of that. I felt like it was like too much of the syrup. I would have liked a little bit less and like more ice flavoring. Like it was just like overly saturated. And I didn't love that. So I wish it had been a little bit less. But other than that, oh, I did, I had this little like Cosmo in a little bottle, that we got at one of the little stores, and that hit me like crazy hard. That was like 24% alcohol. I didn't realize. And we were back at the room one night and I was just sipping on it and I'm like, woo! But I didn't dump that night. So that was nice that I didn't dump. So really only like one sort of dumping, sort of just upset tummy in the morning, over the whole course of the week. And then, like I said, I got back and I did sort of find myself reaching for things that were still in the house, like chips, reaching for things, like we bought these Oreos, for the cupcakes, and I saw carrot cake Oreos. My husband loves carrot cake, so I bought him those, and I had like 2 of those over the course of like a day and a half. And I was like, all right, Sam, like you're not on vacation anymore. You don't need to be snacking on these things. You're not hungry. You just like want, you know, like the sweet tooth. And I'm not usually a sweet tooth. I'm more of like a salty, savory, crunchy kind of person. Like I love chips, and crackers and things. And so I had to like consciously like tell myself, stop, like you had your little bit, like we don't need to go overboard, because that is one thing that like I think most people who have this surgery, like we have some sort of disorder with food. You did not get obese because you were eating salads and apples every day. Like, I'm sorry, it didn't happen. Some point down the line, you were overeating, you were binge eating, you were, you know, doing something, you know, a caloric, not deficit. What's the opposite of deficit? A caloric over it. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word right now. Whatever, opposite of deficit. You were eating too many calories, therefore you gained weight. So, I did have to kind of catch myself mentally and tell myself to stop and like get back into the routine, get back into my protein shakes in the morning, and, you know, veggies and, you know, eating healthier foods and making better option or, you know, choices, and meal prepping for my week, you know, that sort of thing. So I did, I got right back on track. I think it was, like I said, a day and a half of, you know, sort of still being loose with my diet. And then I was like, all right, no, gotta get back on track. And I think that is probably what actually made me lose weight quite a bit. Although it is sort of starting to be like my pattern of like, yeah, I don't lose, or I lose very little for 2 or 3 weeks and then I have a big loss. So it could be that too. But, you know, I was in a surplus. There we go. Not a deficit, a surplus. I was in a caloric surplus when I was in Hawaii, eating more calories than I probably have, you know, since surgery. And then going back to, where I was post-surgery, you know, my body got a little bit of a shock and then went back into weight loss mode. So that was good. So other than that, I did finally take my measurements, which I am so excited to say that overall I am 52 3/4 inches down. That's huge. I'm trying to think, that is taller than my son. My son, I do believe, if I remember correctly, we measured him on his birthday. I think he was 34 inches tall, or maybe 35 inches tall. I'll have to double check when I get home, but 52 inches, like, holy shit, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about this, and I'm feeling good about, you know, like little pieces of muscle and whatever, you know, starting to show. And like my hard work is, you know, I'm starting to really like see it. Nonscale victories this week. I tried on a size 8, that size 8 that I got from my work allotment, and they fit. I was super excited about that one. So I'm officially into an 8. What else? Non-scale victories. Oh, so while in Hawaii, we hiked Diamond Head. Sorry, we just went camping at Diamond Lake. So I almost said we hiked Diamond Lake, but no, we hiked Diamond Head, and I carried my son on my back the whole time. And he's about, 26, 27 pounds, somewhere around there. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, how are you carrying him right now? How are you carrying him? And I was thinking in my head, because, I think I wrote it down here. I am now at a total loss of, I think it's 71 pounds. So, 2, 6, that's almost 3 times his weight, almost. And so I was lugging that amount of weight, more than him, all the time. And so I wanted to say, like, people, I used to be fatter than this. Like, I used to weigh more than this. Like, this is nothing. I mean, it was hard. I'm not going to say it was easy, but like, it wasn't as hard as hiking was when I was 240 pounds. So that was cool. That was a good accomplishment. And he had a great time, because he would have not lasted hiking up, all those stairs and windy. Like, we would have had multiple, breakdowns. He's 2. So it would have been hard. But I'll post a couple pictures here of the hike. So that was really cool. I would say overall, like, vacationing, like a real, resort style vacation for a week. First one since surgery. I feel really good about the balance of working out and eating what I wanted to eat. I feel really good about where I'm at. Definitely hit my goal of being at my pre-baby weight by the time my son was 2. So super excited about that one. And I'm just, overall really happy with where things are and the balance that I'm achieving, and the goals that I'm crushing. So I'm excited to do my next check-in and let you guys know where things are at. So I hope you have a great week, and thank you again so much for being patient with me and for watching my videos. Bye-bye.